No Surrender November is about, the only thing that you know is that it's about you not knowing what it's going to actually be like. And the only real expectation is to fight through that moment. One thing I think everybody can universally say that they're afraid of is it's the fear of the unknown. You're worrying about that hasn't happened yet and may not even ever happen at all. That's our own insecurities. Can you imagine what would happen if instead of fear and all the worst case scenarios that came through, what happened if the best case scenarios came through and nothing but positive reinforcement came through? Son of a monkey's uncle. Look at that. Can you imagine? We would be an unstoppable species, but indecision will kill you every single time. You just have to decide.
Coming from someone who tends to overthink things from time to time, like sitting there, never right.
Time to time.
Sitting there and thinking about it over and over and over and it just drives you nuts because now you still haven't made a decision. You're still miserable where you're at. You can't complain about where the progress that you haven't made with the work you didn't do. So if you're gonna decide that you're not ready to start, whatever ready means, then fine, but you have to know that that's where you're at then.
If you don't have the power of your choice, you're just a slave. You're a slave to your own fears. You're a slave to your own reflection. So, isometrics is the main driver behind the workouts of the month. We're supplemented with eccentric deceleration, which is just controlling your negative in any of the movements. So we were just talking about an example for the wall sits. We're gonna sit for 10 minutes worth of a wall sit. Almost everybody, and us included, you should look at that and say, I'm not gonna be able to make that. Sounds awful. Why would I wanna do that? Like, what if I can only hold it for 10 seconds?
Well, cool.
Then hold it for 10 seconds. Then what'll happen is this. You're gonna sit your on the wall. You're gonna do it for 10 seconds. And then you're gonna realize, while you're thinking that it ain't that bad, clock's still ticking, and you're gonna look back and say, God, that was 15 seconds, 16 seconds. As you're still thinking about the shit, time keeps rolling. Well, you thought you couldn't do 10 minutes, and you didn't. You did 20 seconds, even though all we did was ask you to do 10. Or you thought you could do 10. What you realize is, if I start compounding this thing, the next thing you know, I have done 5 to 6 minutes worth of a 10-minute wall sit, because the little things, the 10 seconds, are what drives the big things, which is the 10 minutes. So you got to change your perspective, which is number 2 on that fear guide.
I mean, like, your brain is going to want to quit on these iso holds way before your body is ready to quit. Your brain wants to quit as soon as humanly possible because its goal is to keep everything status quo comfortable. This is not comfortable. It's not supposed to be comfortable, but you're never gonna get anywhere different if you stay comfortable in the same spot. Like, a huge piece of this no surrender is to remember that when you're going through these workouts and knowing, yes, this sucks, this does not feel great, but I'm going to keep going. So when you open up your No Surrender November, you're gonna have a whole guide full of videos that explain things like isometrics and what a negative rep is and how to count through the tempo on those things. Your workouts are completely laid out for you. It tells you exactly what to do. The demo videos show you exactly how to do it, and the calendar tells you when to do it. So you legit just have to open up your plan, do what it says that day, and go. Not to mention, part of the beauty of the Ignition programs is that they're literally built for each month. Thanksgiving is this month. Guess what? You're probably gonna eat off on Thanksgiving and maybe the couple days before and after too. That's okay.
And you know why it's okay? Because you know it's coming.
Yes. Plan.
And you're choosing, we're telling you, choose to be okay with that. Because
Yes.
we're okay with that too.
Yeah. So part of the nutrition coaching, especially this time of year, it goes back to what we were just talking about, which is like, listen, you don't need to be perfect and we don't want you to be perfect and you shouldn't be perfect. That's all I got.